So I've been following Tariq for a while now, and I noticed recently he's lost a lot of viewers. And as far as his view count, he usually hovers around 80 to 90,000 views for his videos. But the last few videos, they've been more around like 30, 40, maybe 50 at the most. Um, and I think a large part of it is because of um, one of his recent lives that he had on with one of our brothers that was just asking him some genuine questions about his FBA history. And they were genuine questions because everybody needs to be checked out. I mean, since we don't have no leader and the code is the leadership, everybody needs to be checked out in terms of who they are, and that's just part of the vetting process. And the dude was asking Tariq some questions in good faith, and Tariq basically did a "I'm black and I say so." He did the same thing as our oppressors basically do. When the dude was asking him questions, he was like, just asking him some genuine questions, and Tariq was like, the stuff's not true, but even if it is true, so what? I'm a boss, I can do that. So what? Type of shit. And I think that rubbed a lot of us who are FBAs. That rubbed a lot of us kind of the wrong way, And I don't know too much about the dude Dane Calloway because I rock with Kev Gills on our history. So I haven't. I'll be honest, I haven't given that dude a listen. But if ever he needed to get a bigger following as far as some of Tariq's fans, I'm sure some of them probably went over to check that dude out. Because I will say, I never heard about the dark side of Tariq Nasheed, and I did go and watch the video, and it didn't change my opinion on him because I did the math, and like a lot of that was maybe 10, like a decade ago, whatever. But I was kind of concerned about some of the shit that he was saying on there. I didn't really like it, but obviously I wasn't the same person 10, 13 years ago than I am now, so I wouldn't be able to judge him in that manner in terms of. But I wasn't that loose with it either at the same time. So I think with great power comes great responsibility. And when I went to go see the Maroon video and what Tariq was asking for, as far as the donations, the lowest amount started at $100, and then it went all the way up to $5,000. I just was like, this is fucking ridiculous. Does this man not realize we're in a recession? Does this man not realize that his office is bigger than a lot of our places that we live? Like, is my nigga disconnected with his own people like that? So, I think his message needs a little bit more tweaking, and he's got to be able to take more challenges. I mean, a lot of the time when these people get on these little Twitter spaces and these clubhouse apps, they start to get real big headed and they start to, take a lot of that power to their head when they can just mute people and stop them in the middle of a conversation. And that shit is rude as hell. That shit is rude as hell. Even if you got the ability to do that, you know, even the Bible tells you you should be more quicker to listen than to, talk your shit. So I spent a lifetime active listening to people, so I can listen to people and take in exactly what they say. I can let them speak their piece without detracting from what I'm gonna say, because most of what people are saying I've already heard before. Um, so at the end of the day, yeah, I think Tariq's in a little bit of trouble in terms of his base, and I think he should run for some type of office. Really, I think like he's got that kind of pull where he should be able to do that for us and lead by example kind of deal. But um, you know, when business interests, I heard Chappelle say this once. He said, when business interests meet creative expression, business is usually always going to win. You know, so um, it's definitely going to be something that's outside the box. Because I heard him say something about not wanting to start our own party, just going to get people to represent us within a certain party, and I don't think that that would work. And I think a lot of people don't think that would work. I think that's an asinine idea and argument for us because none of the parties have ever really had our best interests at heart. And if we don't have a party that lays out the core of their, what you do when you have a business or whatever, your core principles, if they don't represent our interests, then we're going to be at a disagreement. Um, And at some point, because he had a conversation also with Mayor Adams' brother, and I think he kind of went easy on Mayor Adams' brother because Mayor Adams is actually in support of the drag queen story hour in New York. So Tariq, maybe he just wasn't educated enough to press him on that while he was alive, but um, that's something that he could have went at him on if he knew. If he knew, maybe he didn't, but um, Tariq's got to. I think he's got to up his vernacular and his education because I remember, believe it or not, I remember when Tariq was bad talking Trump, talking about getting him out of office. He might not ever admit that, but then on the same token, after Joe, stole his way in, he talked about how black people got this man in office, and this man badmouthed Trump the whole damn way. And he doesn't know anything about January 6th. January 6th was a subversion, man. That was all staged by the D's. And he's talking about it as if it was really some insurrection that happened when he has no clue that the real insurrection happened well before that. And we're looking like Boo Boo the Fool when we're behind on these issues and everybody knows this kind of shit. So it always makes me wonder about him. And then another thing is, just like he doesn't like us to be mixed in with Africans, there's a certain sect of, well, I consider them white folks, but he does as well. But until he gets to the point where he's willing to address those people, and every now and then you'll get a caller who I respect when they call in and ask him and press him about that Jewish issue. Because until he gets that and realizes who's over a lot of our development, just like he had a caller in that told him about how they're trying to take the houses in New York and that area of black folks, he never wants to address those serious issues. But he doesn't have a problem asking us for money for shit. And I support Tariq, but I won't give him a fucking dime. I'm FBA, but I won't give this nigga a dime until he starts showing that, he's giving back to our community without asking for shit. That's just what it comes down to. It has nothing to do with pocket watching and trying to deflect the argument by saying some dumb shit like that. And I fuck with Tariq. I rock with him in most cases. But at the same time, I'm not going to dick ride and what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Because we've had people in our community who have double crossed us for less. So anybody who's just blindly rocking with him or thinking somebody's hating on him, you're one of the worst people in our fucking community, to be honest with you. Because everybody needs to be looked at critically. Everybody. Everybody who speaks truth to power for us, they still need to be looked at critically, even myself. I have an FBA wife, I'm FBA. If I were ever to try to take that type of mantle, I don't have a problem being evaluated and scrutinized and that type of shit. We spent the lifetime dealing with it anyway. So, he should definitely be doing more. I heard a conversation that he had with a brother that was trying to promote his shit, and Tariq wouldn't even let him promote it without talking about money first. Those are red flags, bro. I don't give a damn what you say. Not to mention the fact that it's suspected and alleged that he's got a white mother-in-law, and he never wants to really address that issue. Like, nah, nigga, we need to know about this type of shit. If you got one, then that's cool. Let's deal with it. But if you got one now after you done denied it all this time and now we find out that you do, then that's a little suspect. You could have kept it real with us from the jump. And what other shit have you not kept it real with us about? Everybody got their flaws and shit, but sometimes when you're ragging on dudes who we clearly know are FBA and telling them that they're not and that type of shit, that's not cool. And our people don't feel that. It's the same thing with Jason. When Jason was making them jokes about black folks putting down the crack pipe and shit, like, that shit's not funny. That shit is not funny at all. Man, y'all motherfuckers got to do better, man. Y'all think that y'all hype yourselves up like y'all are these predominant leaders in our community, but y'all be on some bullshit. Yeah, y'all be on some bullshit for real.